I know you're taking me down your dark path, Ben. I always say I've been pretty immune for most of it. I mean, even working with Michael for all these years, like Matt and Michael were the ones who watched like the Ruben clips and they present them to me live. I spent no time with this at all. So yeah, you're forcing me to do something I don't really like to do very much.
All right. So the first one has to do with the legacy of the person who PragerU, of course, regards as our greatest and most important president, who would be Ronald Wilson Reagan. So this is called Leo and Layla's Adventures with President Ronald Reagan.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, Layla.
Why are you pulling down our neighbor's fence?
Today, this is not a fence.
Oh, yeah? Then what is it?
It's the Berlin Wall, and I'm Ronald Reagan, our 40th president.
And I guess that means you're here to tear down the Berlin Wall?
You got it. I'm gonna set the East Berliners free.
Leo, I'm pretty sure that our neighbors aren't from East Berlin.
Well, they are today.
Whatever you say, Leo.
Did you know that Ronald Reagan was one of our most popular presidents?
Of course I knew that.
And did you know he was California's governor before he was president?
Well, duh. Did you know that he started out as an actor? He starred in over 50 movies.
Yeah, and he wasn't just an actor either. He was in the military during World War II.
You know what? He was actually great at a lot of stuff. He played college football.
He was also on the swim team.
He ran track, too.
Plus, he was student body president.
And he was totally handsome.
Ew, gross.
What the heck, Leo?
Boy, I sure wish I could have met Ronald Reagan.
Well, why can't you?
Because he passed away in 2004 when he was 93 years old. I wasn't even born yet, and now I'll never get to meet him.
Geez, Leo, don't be so dramatic. We can just use my new time travel app to go meet him.
Really? Awesome.
You just tap here and away we go. But let me get the settings right before you do that.
Ronald Reagan, here I come.
Oh
no! Wow, is this what West Berlin looks like? Layla, look at that wall. It's huge. Hey, wait, where's Layla?
What the heck? Where am I? Oh, great. Thanks, Leo. I better go find him.
I can't believe I actually went back in time. Maybe I'll really get to meet Ronald Reagan.
Did someone say my name?
Wow, you're really President Reagan. Nice to meet you. I'm Leo, and I came here from the future. What are you doing here?
Nice to meet you, Leo. I'm here in Berlin to stop the communists and end the Cold War.
Oh, man. All this talk about communists is making me hungry.
Well, Leo, communism makes everyone hungry. People living under communism are often poor and don't have enough money for food. That's why we have to stop it.
I guess you're right, but can we have a snack first? I brought jelly beans.
Leo, thank you. That's my favorite snack.
It's too bad Layla isn't here to have some too. Hey, Mr. Reagan, can I ask you some questions?
Of course you can, Leo.
Why did they build the Berlin Wall in Germany?
That's a good question. We're in West Berlin, which is the free side of Germany. On the other side of the wall is East Berlin, which is occupied by the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, which is communist, built this wall during the Cold War to keep people locked in East Berlin and stop them from going to freedom in West Berlin.
We sure are lucky to be on this side.
You're right about that, Leo.
Why is it called the Cold War anyway? It doesn't seem that cold.
It's not because of cold weather. It's called the Cold War because we were able to end the war without using any weapons.
A war with no shooting or bombs? How did you do that?
Well, everyone was afraid that the United States and the Soviet Union were going to nuclear bombs at each other. But thankfully, that never happened.
A nuclear bomb would have been terrible. That's a big...
Okay, I'll go along with the last plan. A nuclear bomb would have been terrible. But I do want to just clock that the thing that this extremely convincing portrayal of Ronald Reagan just said before that was that he won the Cold War without using any violence. So my history is a little rusty, David. Is that true that the Reagan administration didn't do anything Cold War related and violent?
Well, ask the Sandinistas. I mean, the entire history of the Cold War, but particularly under Reagan, is just rationing up tensions and just brutal bloodshed in the name of stamping out communism. I do just want to note, though, there is something in this video that has been really interesting to me so far, which is you can just see how much Donald Trump has sort of permeated the party. I mean, that's a very, very orange Reagan, right? And even their favorite boy now has to be a little bit more Trump-esque.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, this is like just amazing revisionist history. I mean, if you think about everything the United States was doing in the 1980s, it was, funneling guns and money to the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, which, included like a really like the sort of lunatic fundamentalist faction of that, those forces who kind of became the Taliban, who were, I think one of their war slogans was "They are teaching our women how to read." There were of course the Contras who you mentioned, the terrorists, waging war against the in 1984 democratically elected Sandinista government in Nicaragua, who were massacring nuns and mining mining the harbors in Nicaragua, not to mention being very involved in the drug trade, going back and forth between Central America and the United States, El Salvador. I think quite a few shots were fired by quite a few people, with at the very least funding from the Reagan administration.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is extremely revisionist. I mean, it's no, accident that this is a cartoon. I also wanted to add, not being too nitpicky about the kind of Reagan lore here, but it is amazing how he's been able to get away with this claim that he was the one who ended the Cold War, right? Or that he was the one who was president when the Berlin Wall fell, because he wasn't. It was Bush, his successor, when the wall went down. I mean, of course, events happened before it, but it's just one of those things where it's like in the American popular imagination, Reagan gave a great speech, and then everybody was just like, "All right, we're fucking taking this thing down right now."
Yeah, the head of the DDR, Eric Honecker, heard Reagan's speech and felt ashamed, and was like, "Okay, all right, tear down the wall." That is actually really amazing that Bush had been president for a year with the
about 9 months or something. It was November.
Yeah, and then the next year was the coup against Gorbachev and the Soviet Union dissolved shortly afterwards. And okay, sure, you could say, if you have a worldview such that this is a good thing, which I think if you given the apocalyptic level of social breakdown in some of those countries after the end of the Cold War, it can certainly be disputed. But if you do think it's a good thing and you're looking to assign credit and prizes for it, okay, sure. So yeah, Reagan was president for 2 terms before that. You could say, but then I don't know, Carter was for 4 years before that, and Ford and Nixon, and they don't get any of it. And I'm pretty sure if the same amount of time had elapsed since Reagan had taken office and the Berlin Wall did fall on his watch, and then the dissolution of the Soviet Union, all the people who credit Reagan for that would not be giving credit to Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Reagan is just, I think time obviously helps the myth as well. Reagan is just, he gets to embody all the hopes and dreams of the Republican Party. It doesn't really matter how much truth there is to it. I will just add 2 things. One thing is a program note, maybe one day it might be fun to watch, but Werner Herzog.
Yeah,
he has a really interesting documentary on Gorbachev. that you can watch. I would say it's a little maybe revisionist. Like he really, really, really likes Gorbachev, but it's a fascinating film. It could be fun for a movie night sometime.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But two, just the way that this is even presented, right? And like we don't have to go through the litany of all the problems with the Soviet Union, etc., right? But that like it got to this point because of the Soviets were just against freedom and America was just over here just like, please give freedom a shot. It's just such BS, right? I mean, these were extensions of warlike aspirations from like the United States, right? The United States was trying to topple that system pretty much from the get-go after the end of World War II, right? And you don't create a happy, perfect system in those conditions, right? The United States is going to be stabilizing, right? I don't know. It's just like the way that it's presented is so ahistorical, obviously, but I think it's wrong itself too, even in the moment of like Reagan and Gorbachev like having these kind of conversations, because there was a desire on the Soviet side to sort of break down these tensions and to be able to be a part of like the the global community, quote unquote, right? And that's what led in a lot of ways to the end of the Soviet Union, was this attempt at trying to do it. And of course, once they reopen and they try to have free and fair elections there, the United States didn't want that either, because they it was never about democracy or free and fair elections for the United States. It was about the destruction and the eradication of communism and full scale capitalist plunder of the Soviet system.
Yeah, I mean, before World War II, I mean, Woodrow Wilson literally sent troops to the Soviet Union, to aid the White Army in the Civil War. So yeah, no, I agree. I think I think the U.S., and generally, the capitalist world's response is definitely has to be in the mix of factors that led to that system evolving the way that it did, with all of its obvious flaws, but also, there's some tension between this and the video that we, watched earlier with Ed and Jake, because, like, I think PragerU also can't decide how they feel about that, because it's like, okay, did the Soviet Union just collapse of the contradictions of its system, or was it the Reagan speech, right? Like,
exactly. I mean, that's the true like materialist versus idealist tension, right, man?
No, exactly.
The good speech ends the system versus the system ending itself.
Exactly. All right, let's keep going.
Biggest kind of bomb there is.
You're absolutely right, Leo. That's why we signed the INF.
Oh, I see. Wait, what's the INF?
The INF stands for Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Both our countries agreed to sign the treaty so we didn't have to use our bombs.
Is that all it took to end the Cold War?
Well, no, Leo. We also used our economy to win.
Economy? Isn't that money stuff? It sounds really complicated.
It's really very simple, Leo. We used a program called Reaganomics to make our economy strong. We cut taxes so that the government took less of people's hard-earned money away from them, and that led to more people getting jobs.
Ugh, I don't want a job. I hate work. My sister Layla has a job after school, but I like to play after school.
Well, Leo, when you grow up, getting a job and working hard is part of being responsible. I'm sure your sister is working hard to find you right now. Thanks to everyone working hard, the United States economy was so big that the Soviet Union couldn't keep up.
You are amazing, Mr. Reagan. You saved everyone's lives and made them better at the same time.
Well, thank you, Leo, but the job isn't done yet. We still have one more thing to do. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yeah, freedom
well, look,
for
you did it.
There you are, Leo. I've been looking for you everywhere. What have you been up to?
Hi, Layla. You just missed it. President Reagan and I tore down the real Berlin Wall.
Ugh, I can't believe I missed it. You need to be careful when you time travel. My phone battery is almost empty and we need to get back before it's too late.
Okay, Layla. Let me say goodbye to Ronald Reagan first, though. Bye, Mr. President. It was nice meeting you. Thanks for beating the communists.
Goodbye, Leo. And remember this, it's never too late to fight for freedom.
Here we go, Leo.
we're back! Layla, you should have been there when Ronald Reagan told them to tear down the Berlin Wall. It was super fun.
It's okay, Leo. I got to do a lot of fun things in the past, too.
Like what?
Glad you asked, Leo. Well, I went to the White House and met Nancy Reagan, the First Lady, and I learned all about their program to keep kids off drugs.
Just say no.
You got that right. Plus, I went to the Supreme Court and visited one of my role models, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor.
Who was that?
She was the first woman on the Supreme Court. She's proof that anyone can become what they want in America. And guess who appointed her?
I have no idea.
I'll give you a hint. He really likes jelly beans.
Ronald Reagan did that too? Man, I'm so glad I got to meet him. Hey, Layla, do you think that I could grow up to be like Reagan?
Of course you can. When Ronald Reagan was your age, his family didn't even have plumbing or running water. But you'll have to work hard if you want to be like him.
You bet I will.
Great. Now why don't you start by fixing that fence before Mom and Dad get home?
I really like that what they had Layla do was beat the women off screen. It's like, I don't know. She's off doing some women shit. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's a side note for them anyway, right? It's just it's like a little arrow in their quiver to, because it's like the kind of like gender arguments for Reagan are ridiculous on the merits, but for them, like they just want to use them as a little rhetorical, evasion.